We are about to show you a series of pictures from the life of Jon E. Gearhart. They represent a cross-section of highlights in his life. My name is Eric Jon Gearhart, and I am the son of Jon E. Gearhart.
My name is Denise Eileen Gearhart-Wolf, and I'm the daughter of Jon Gearhart.
My name is Joyce Elaine Stout Gearhart, and I'm John's wife.
Jon Edward Gearhart was born in York, Pennsylvania on February 19, 1937. His parents were Florence and Ed Gearhart. This first picture is a picture of Dad with his Uncle Ray Brandt. He's about 2 years old. The next picture shows Dad. He's in the Hannah Penn band and he played the clarinet. Here is a picture of Dad when he was 15 years old. It was taken when he was in 9th grade. This is Dad's senior picture from William Penn High School in York, Pennsylvania. His nickname in high school was Sharpie because he often wore a sports coat and tie. Some things never changed. Dad loved playing sports. Here is a picture of Dad with the York CMA men's basketball team. A few months before this picture was taken, when Dad was 19 years old, he accepted Jesus to be his personal Savior at a Tory Johnson revival meeting held at the York Fairgrounds. That is why all of us can be sure, beyond any shadow of a doubt, that Dad is up in heaven with Jesus today, this very moment.
When I went to Gordon College, John enrolled in the Marine Reserves, and the next couple of pictures are pictures of him at Paris Island, and he sent these pictures in his letters to me. So there's one that shows him reading a letter from me, and the other ones are general day-to-day pictures. He wrote a letter to me every day, and we were going steady at the time, and then he started to write his letters, address them to not just Joyce Stout, but he put Joyce Gearhart Stout, Gearhart in the middle. So that was kind of a romantic thing that he did. In 1961, there you see our wedding invitation. We were married then, and there's a picture of us and a picture of us leaving for the reception, and that's the same car. It was an Oldsmobile that when we started on our honeymoon the second day, we had an accident, and so we didn't know whether to tell our parents or not when we wrote postcards the next day, so we decided not to because it was too scary. So we were married in the old CMA church, and a few years later a new one was started, and John was the building chairman, and there's a picture of the groundbreaking, a very significant event in our lives.
Mom, I don't see Dad very well in that. Where is he?
Can you get a close-up?
Oh, there we go.
There he is. Oh, there he is.
The next picture we have is I am on top of Dad's shoulders.
Huh.
And that is something that I loved. As you can see, I'm wearing his hat, and that was great fun. He must have just come home from work on that one and then hoisted me up there. I got to wear the hat, and it was a great day.
Mm-hmm. And we loved to go out on the rock and sit out front of our house and just hang out with Dad. I remember him in that Marine hat all through the years, working outside. That was a staple in his wardrobe.
And the thing I loved was, as you saw in the previous picture, I loved wearing his hat, so I remember when I got to the age of where I could fit his Marine hat, then I would wear that when I would go out in the woods. And then I remember I was in 7th grade when I was old enough to be able to wear his Marine boots that you see wearing in that picture as well. And so that's a picture outside of the house. And Mother, what is this next picture?
I'm a little confused about this one.
Well,
What is that?
we took vacations at the beach, but Dad never really liked to get sticky sand or really, get all messed up there. But he always had the newspaper with him. So that's a typical picture of him trying to forget he's at the beach by reading the newspaper.
And I see no sunscreen, but he's not red, so that's good.
Must have just gotten there.
And then I was the scorekeeper for the CMA team. That's a picture of Dad in his uniform, and he played shortstop. The next picture is a Valentine's Day. And so that's his Valentine gift for the day, and that's all I'm going to say about it.
Interesting. I see us behind there, but it looks like we are facing the other way.
We're embarrassed.
One year we went for a European vacation, and the razor plug didn't work over there. So when we came back, Dad was starting a beard. It only lasted for a day after he got back, though.
Did he ever have a beard after that?
No.
So pretty much that any time.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, here we are in our matching pajamas.
Sure enough.
Mother had a pair too.
And
She must have been taking the
Yeah,
picture.
somebody had to take it.
Right, right.
Okay.
Fun
Then
times.
the next picture then, I see we're all dressed up. Are those our play clothes or
I think that's Easter Sunday.
Easter Sunday?
Oh, okay. Yep. Oh, Eric, you have a flower on your jacket.
Oh, that is swell, isn't it? Yep. A nice,
Nice little boutonniere.
I'm glad they have since stopped that habit for little 3-year-olds.
The next picture is from a church directory picture. We were always glad when we had a church directory because then at least we got our picture taken at those times.
And Dad was 36 at that time of that
Around
picture?
there, yes.
Yes. Okay. Oh, this one I love. As you see here, this is a picture of Dad in his Marine hat again, riding the mower and having the cart loaded with leaves. I'm sitting in the back with our dog Cinder, and I love those days. A lot of times on Saturdays we would be outside, and it was just great helping Dad with that because probably off to the left we would have had a big fire that he would have been burning.
I love the smell of that.
Wasn't it though? Yeah, or else then Mom would typically be inside making iced tea and a cake. And sometimes we did hot dogs outside or marshmallows at night, but those are great memories.
The next picture is our 14th wedding anniversary, and it was held at New Fair. We were at New Fairview because Reverend and Mrs. Muir, David and Claire, had an anniversary on the same day we did, and I think that was their 25th. So the church had a celebration for them, and it was our day too. So that's us there.
And then next we see a picture of Dad, and he's in the dog box with our dog Cinder. And I remember that he was very tight but cozy in warm quarters, so I can see why Dad would.
He doesn't like the cold.
Right,
So
that's true.
Been perfect.
Mother, what's the next picture?
I think Dad is. They didn't have a coach right then for the team, and you should be talking about it. And so he was taking over for them. And are you on the team, Eric?
I don't think I'm old enough to be on the team.
Okay, all right.
Otherwise, I would have been. I think that was at the Gospel Center, when. But the team was for the Christian School of York.
Right.
Okay, the next picture is a family picture of the 4 of us. Some of you may remember that both Mother and Dad have narrated a plethora of cantatas over the years at the York Alliance Church. What you are about to hear is an excerpt of Dad narrating a cantata called Home for Christmas, put on by the York Alliance Church on December 20th, 1980. It is a story about a man whose father has recently passed away. This man doesn't want to go home because he feels Christmas will not be the same without his father there. Dad plays the role of the son who has lost his father. When Mother heard the words Dad was saying, she recalls thinking to herself, someday that may be us. That long ago day has arrived. Here's a clip of Dad narrating Home for Christmas.
Paul has taught me well this Christmas, Mom. Last Sunday morning on the way to church, we heard the bells ringing, and once again I remembered Dad. Then, all of a sudden, the thoughts of Christmas without him seemed almost too much to bear. I knew that Christmas would never be the same again. It must have shown because Paul leaned over and asked why I was so sad. I tried to explain the loneliness I felt and how hard it would be to ever go home again for Christmas and not have my dad there. But then he looked up and said, with a wisdom far beyond his years, "But Daddy, you don't need to be sad. Don't you see? This year it was Grandpa's turn to go home for Christmas. He really went home for Christmas." In that moment, a peace flooded my heart till I thought it would burst. Paul had learned what I was forgetting. One day it would be the same. We'd all be home together again. Only this time, it would be forever. Those Christmas bells have been ringing that message all along. I guess I just wasn't listening.
Many of you know that my father was an extremely creative entrepreneur to the core. He loved themed ideas. In 1981, he purchased the old York County Prison. His plan was to turn the prison into a themed restaurant. Here are some of the original drawings for the prison. The idea was to put a different type of restaurant on each floor. Dad and I lived those dreams for the next 33 years. I am grateful for the time that we got to spend together working on this project.
And the next one is Dad. He was president of the school board, York Christian School, and apparently they were taking pictures of board members that night.
Let's see, this picture is a picture of Mother and Dad at my senior banquet that was held at the Yorktown Hotel. That was in 1985, and that was the year I graduated from the Christian School of York. Then the next picture, as Mom mentioned, Dad was president of the board at CSY, and it was great because he gave me my diploma on my graduation day.
Yeah. August 3rd, 1985. I was getting married that day. I remember it well. There with my mother and father and my daddy taking me down the aisle. I think he was in a little bit of a trance because his arm was straight down the whole time. He didn't even think to put it up. But we got married at the Christian Missionary Alliance Church. And then the last picture shows us in our backyard, which my father totally renovated, just specifically for the wedding, to get it done in time for the wedding. So I so appreciated all the efforts and work that went into that. It's a wonderful day.
And something that some of you who are seeing this know that Dad loved, and that is playing Monopoly. Mm-hmm. And this
Look, he dressed up for the occasion.
Absolutely, put on his tux and made it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in the dining room of our house. We all put on our favorite, our lucky shirts to see if that would help us with the game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and every holiday we were trying to lug a large turkey around. Of course, that became John's job, and so we would get up early and half asleep, as you can see, and he would start preparing the turkey. So that's one of those early mornings. That is until we started doing them overnight.
Didn't have to get up early then.
Right.
Sleep in a little bit.
Nice.
The next picture is a picture of Dad and me. That is the start of my sophomore year at college. That was at Wheaton College, and Mom and Dad took me out early to be there for soccer camp. And one of the things I remember is he gave me a Monopoly game that he wrote a really special letter for, and he left that with me when Mother and Dad left. The next picture is a picture of Dad and me. This was the day when we bought the Strasburg Country Store and Creamery, and we are removing the no parking sign, and I think that we parked in that space. And then the next picture shows a picture of the creamery, and lots of good memories there.
The second home, his second home.
Yep, homemade ice cream and penny candy.
We loved going there.
When John was 51 years old, we had a surprise party for him. And we played old-fashioned games such as putting the clothespin in the milk bottle, and we had a large poster on the front drapes, and it was a picture of John's face, and it was called Pin the Mustache on John. We all had a mustache, and other kinds of games. So it was an over-the-hill party, and so that's the guest of honor.
So we mentioned the creamery a moment ago. These next two pictures show what we did when the creamery turned 200 years old. So this was in 1988, and the creamery building was built in 1788. We had a birthday party for the building, and Dad dressed up as Thomas Jefferson. And then there were different activities going on in other businesses around Strasbourg, such as spelling bees and things like that. But you can see then the picture here on the porch. There's Dad, and then Mother's to the left, and then Denise, Sean, and I are to the right. The next picture here is this is me graduating from college, and Dad and Sean and Denise and Mother were there. So that makes up the two pictures.
And John loved pets, loved animals. This is a kitten called Nittany, after the Nittany Lions. Eric named the cat. And the next one is John hugging our dog. I don't know if the dog was just ready to get a bath or just had a bath, I'm not sure, but he enjoyed our animals. In 1989, I started back, went to York College. John, as a Christmas gift to me, gave me an acceptance letter to York College. Everyone worked on it. Denise made sure that when I was visiting her, she introduced me to the teachers, the older women who went back to school. And Eric went into York College to get the information that we needed to enroll me. This was all done secretively. I didn't know about it. And what a surprise at Christmas. So this is right before I started to college, and I was very excited. So, and there, I did get my associate degree, and then went on to get my full degree, my English degree. So I love that he did that for me. It was the greatest gift anybody could give.
The next series of pictures, we mentioned about the fact that we love to play Monopoly. And one weekend, as a surprise, Dad brought home the amount of money that is in a typical game for Monopoly. And it's real money, as you see there. And we played a total of 4 games. We played all night and till the sun came up. And it was it really put a new perspective on bidding for properties such as Boardwalk for $2,000 when you're really using real money. The next picture then just shows Dad on his 58th birthday, where we're playing Monopoly again, because that was typically what we did when there was a special holiday. So whether it was a birthday or Christmas, we loved to get out the Monopoly game in the evenings.
And there's Ryan and Alexander.
Yeah.
Dad was such a great grandpa, great father, and great grandfather. And I was so thrilled to see the boys just cuddle right up to him, and they just loved to climb on his lap.
Now, John always loved pies better than cakes. So this particular birthday, he had it was his 60th birthday, a birthday pie instead of a birthday cake. And he was very pleased about that. On the next picture, we were with the half-timers at CMA Church at Camp Hebron. And part of what we did was go horseback riding. So that's John enjoying himself, hating wearing the helmet, riding a horse. And the next picture is, again, we're happy for pictorial directories of our church, because that was a great single picture of John. That's one of my favorites.
Oh, and then we see the domino game. Grandpa always loved playing dominoes with the grandchildren, and they loved that as well. There's Ryan sitting at the table playing dominoes with his grandpa.
The next picture we see is a picture of Dad's 62nd birthday, and looks like a delicious cake.
Not a pie.
Not a pie.
We celebrated our 40th wedding anniversary at Ocean City. That's a picture of us.
This is a picture of Dad and me. We had just gotten these shirts for a company called Web Weavers International, and that was the first time we had ever gotten embroidered shirts. So we could pick our colors, and Dad picked a nice bright yellow color.
Oh my, I remember when Lauren broke her arm, and guess what? Grandpa had broken his arm too. So there they were, twins with broken arms. Then the three children, Ryan, Lauren, and Connor, sitting with Grandpa at their dining room table.
Now here's a picture of Grandpa riding the bumper cars at Dutch Wonderland with Garen when he was a little boy. And the children loved doing different rides with Grandpa, and he was always a great sport about it. He was never one of those people to say, no, I don't want to go on it, I don't like rides. He was there. Whatever it was, he was a part of it.
Yes, he did. Okay, there I am with Dad at our new home. They watched the children for us as we were getting ready to move into our new house in Myersville, Maryland.
Now here's a picture of all of us. That's on 2005. We're in the living room of our home, of Mother and Dad's home. And you see a lot of little children, but a great family picture at that time. Mm-hmm. The next picture is of Pierce, Kennedy, Alexander, Garen, and Delaney's looking up at Kennedy must have done something, and they're sitting there with Grandpa. That's in the kitchen, and that is celebrating somebody's birthday. Now, Dad loved to be outside, and their yard was always really rocky. And this is one of the many times actually, when either we broke a mower blade or something happened to the mower that it could not get up the driveway on its own. So Dad and I are pushing it up to take it into the garage, to call the repair shop, and have it fixed yet again. These next three slides are of when Kim and I got married, when we blended our family. And this is a family picture. Then the next one shows Mother and Dad intently looking at what is happening up front during the ceremony. And that was our family celebration ceremony. That was in 2008, so June 20th of 2008. Then we have a picture of Dad, Kim, Mother, and I at our wedding ceremony.
Very nice.
Thank you. The next picture is of Dad at a birthday party that we're having at our house. And this happened to be my 43rd birthday, and our tradition is that we wear a birthday hat. So had that been Dad's birthday, he would have the birthday cake with candles on top of his head instead of me.
We love celebrating anything. In fact, nothing or something little or big, but birthdays were always big. And this was John's 74th birthday, and the whole family was there, and it was great. He loved it. We all loved it when the family could be there. So that's a picture of that.
Oh, the next one was when we went to Regent University for Sean's graduation from the doctorate program. We all spent a weekend together enjoying Williamsburg and watching Sean graduate.
Now here's a picture of Mother and Dad. We had interviewed them for their 50th wedding anniversary, and the questions and the answers were wonderful, as you may have heard, and it was just a great time.
Here we are out back having a little cookout at our home.
Here's another celebration at the Gearhart house, and John was always ready for a piece of cake.
In fact, notice that's his pretty much steady diet. He's got cookies, cake, and he probably was having a soda.
And I see nothing green on any plate of his.
That's his food group.
This next picture is just a fun picture of Dad enjoying whatever activity is happening. Here we have, this is Delaney's 5th grade concert at Northeastern High School is where it was held, but Grandma and Grandpa Gearhart came to hear the concert. Then we have a picture of we were celebrating a birthday and part of the favors.
Instead of party hats, we had party noses. So we had noses of various animals, and we had lots of fun doing it. I don't know why he's not wearing one.
I was gonna
He had
ask
one.
that.
Yes, he had one. And again, a celebration, his 76th birthday. And celebrations are just so much fun. He loved them.
And there we see the children gathered around Grandpa as well. We mentioned about Dad not liking vegetables. Here is another picture of him holding a plate. He's got the main course, but there is nothing healthy to be seen. So he probably was on the verge of getting some chips. The next picture here shows Alexander and Sarah's graduation from Northeastern High School. And Mother and Dad came to be a part of that event as well. And then you see Dad is waiting patiently for an event to be over at school. And it looks like he did something to his arm yet again. So I wonder if Lauren hurt her wrist too? Or
I didn't think so at that time.
no? Okay.
It was a solo
A
performance.
solo performance, all right. Now, my father has always loved baseball. His favorite team is the St. Louis Cardinals. And I would say his second favorite team is going to see the Baltimore Orioles. And this was a game in 2013 when Dad and I went there. And Dad always loves the idea of that there's a parking space in the front. And sure enough, that night down at Camden Yards, we got a space directly right in front. The security guard let us park there because they saw Dad was having a little bit of a challenge walking. And we just had a really good time together that night going to a baseball game.
Perfect. The next picture we see Mother and Dad coming to watch Lauren in The Sound of Music. It was a wonderful evening, and we're so glad that they were able to be there. It's her senior year, and she was so thrilled to be in a musical. Then, let's see. Oh, this is her graduation. And we have Ryan, Grandma and Grandpa, Sean and I, and it was a wonderful day as well.
Mother, what's this picture?
Well, Lauren had a birthday party, and it was a Disney party. And so we dressed as much as we could with the theme of Disney. So I am a fairy grandmother, and I have 2 glass slippers on my hat that you can't see because they're glass. And I have a magic wand around my neck. And Grandpa is in something significant having to do with Disney. I'm not sure what. He has flowers on his shirt, so I'm not sure exactly what that was. But we had a good time at the party.
I thought maybe he was dressed as a tourist, but
True.
the next picture we see is of Dad, Sean, and me. We went the next year to a baseball game because Sean was able to get some tickets, and we weren't sure how many more times Dad would be able to get down to the ballpark. So when this opportunity came, we jumped at it. And this was a night when they were giving away Orioles cowboy hats. So there you see us enjoying our time.
Dad went to the Frederick Memorial Hospital, and after that to rehab. And this is just us talking with each other right before I'm ready to leave for the evening.
Next, we see a picture of Dad at a place called Farney Keedy, and that was the first nursing home that he was in. And so we were able to join Dad on Thanksgiving Day and have Thanksgiving dinner with him.
The next holiday was Christmas, and Farney Keedy had a room that we could take over as a family. And so we brought Christmas dinner to Dad, to John, and we brought everything we would have at home in crock pots. So we had a wonderful time. All of our grandchildren were there, and children. And it was just a time that we didn't know that we could even get together there, but it was perfect.
Here's a picture of Mother and Dad at sunrise. And you can see that Mother and Dad are having a meaningful talk right there, and then they give each other a hug. And there were special times like that when they were able to just to say some heartfelt things and connect with each other. This is a picture of all of us at Sunrise Senior Living Center. And this is just one of the visits we had with Dad. Then here's a picture of Mom and Dad in his room.
With his Pepsi blanket
with his
in the
Pepsi
background.
blanket. That's right. Yep, and I don't know if you can see in the top left, he has his St. Louis Cardinal
Yes, I see that.
dugout or ball club.
When John's 79th birthday came, he was at Sunrise, and Sunrise had a really unique room called the Cafe, and it was decorated in memorabilia of Coke items, and it was like a 50s cafe. So we used that room to celebrate, and so John has a birthday necklace on, and actually we had cupcakes, and Sunrise facility made cupcakes for him as well. So that was fun.
And I like the picture of Dad and me there with his birthday as well. I really appreciate that.
And then the next picture is Easter Sunday. At Sunrise, every Sunday at 2:30, they had a church who would come in, different church each week, and hold a service in their large living room area. So this is Dad's dressed up to go to church.
Delaney was visiting and Lauren was home, so we went to go visit Grandpa, and it was their anniversary, 55th anniversary. So we girls were able to celebrate with Grandma and Grandpa.
A great occasion. And then we have Lauren's wedding was coming up. It was June the 23rd, and we were hoping that Grandpa could come, and Lauren was hoping he could come. And so we did elaborate preparations with the nurses at Northampton, where he was residing then. And the nurses actually came through and did a wonderful job, and he came all dressed up, and so we enjoyed being at Lauren's wedding together.
So wonderful.
And next is a picture of the wedding party, rather our family and Lauren and Paul, the newlyweds. It was held at a place called Walker's Overlook.
Lauren was so thrilled that Grandpa was there. At the end of when she was ready to leave, she went up to him and they had a very special moment together, as you can see.
The next picture you see, that is at a place called Northampton Manor, and that is around August of 2016. You'll see some notebooks and things like that in the background, and that's Dad at the nurses station. That was kind of his spot. He liked that because that was mission control of Northampton. So he could see everybody who was coming and going and feel like he was a part of decisions that were being made.
One time I came down the hallway and saw the lower part of the desk there where the countertop was, and there was someone sitting there. It looked like they were the information center, and here it was Dad. He was on the other side of the nurse station, sitting there looking out, actually reading a magazine.
The next picture was taken about 2 weeks ago. I went to visit Dad, and we were having a lovely time together, and you can just see the connection of love in both of our eyes. I love my dad.
And we all really appreciate the fact that we had a chance to tell him how we felt about him. About 2 weeks ago as well, I had a chance to speak to Dad and just tell him how much I appreciated him and thank him for some of the different things which he did throughout my life. Our father entered into heaven on Sunday, September 4th, 2016 at 7:08 a.m. We were with him at that time. Dad, we love you and will miss you greatly. We can't wait to be with you again in heaven.